are such an asshole.
Boy, that was weird. Did that just cut out? Are we all right? Let me know in the comments if I just want a day where things work, man. Let's go through the request if I got to redo it again. Hi. Hey, Indeed. Was that actually Endymion? Guys, can you hear me? I know we got to do this. We got to do this childish shit. I'll just wait to see in the comment. We're live? Good. Okay. Good. Thank you, Chicken Core. All right. Silver goes. There. All right. This is a request, and this one, he wanted me to watch a video by Thinking Ape, which I cannot recommend that channel enough. Because he is succinct and precise, and they are high quality videos, but the reason they're high quality videos is because I've never seen somebody take the time to choose the exact, precise, right words to convey exactly what he's thinking. And so if you wish to make quick and tremendous progress in understanding red pill philosophy, or just philosophy in general, I'd recommend watching pretty much every one of his videos. You can find him on YouTube. So link to the one below, and Emmanuel wanted me to do a response. He says, hey, Cappy, how much are your thoughts on main character syndrome video by Thinking Ape from last week on both men and women? Videos about 12 minutes long. I paid, or I sent the link, so I presume he paid. So let's go through it. Now, main character syndrome, as Thinking Ape calls it, I think the official word is called solipsism. And that is, it's along narcissism, but you only view the world through your own eyes, that you are the only one who exists. Before I became educated on terms, I noticed this phenomenon very commonly amongst the women I dated, but I called it video game syndrome, where you play a video game, you're the only human being in that system. It's just you in the video game. And when you're running and gunning, playing Medal of Honor, you're not actually killing people with funny mustaches who believe in National Socialism. They are digital characters in Creed. You're not murdering people. It's just a fun game. You're running and gunning, and that's it. So the only person, the only human being, the only sentient mind with consciousness is you, right? But what I realized is a lot of people, you think Gen X is all cool. No, they're not. They're a bunch of douche canoes. You see that in how people interact in the real world, where they view the real world as a video game. They only view it through their lens of life, and that's not a fellow human being, and that's not a man, and that's not a woman. These are just video game characters. These are bits and bytes, and they are all to serve me. Now, Whole Math did a great video and explanation of this, because everyone starts off in a solipsistic main character video game, I'm the only sentient person here type of state, because you're a child, you're an infant, you're a baby, you don't know any better. You're also helpless. Everyone around you, namely your parents, are serving you to keep you alive. And in a very real sense, they are NPCs. You can't communicate with them. They don't have sentience. As far as you're aware, you're not even aware of your own self-awareness. I think self-awareness doesn't occur. Like my first memory, I think was about 2, maybe 3, right? And then until you're 18, or in the United States, 32, your parents continue taking care of you. 36 if you're in Minnesota, because you're a bunch of fucking pussies. Mommy, daddy. If you ever go to Minnesota, it's just that, 36-year-olds still sucking on their mom's tits at that time. It's really gross. It's really sad. But it's a Minnesota way. Anyway, even if you attain self-awareness, though, your environment, especially as a child, conditions you to think that you're supposed to be taken care of forever. And until you actually support yourself and have to put in the time and effort and money, this is why I'm adamant people must starve. They must support themselves. You are unaware of what other people are and who they are, because you need to go through that pain and agony to realize, wow, this is me versus the real world. And then you are sympathetic and understand that there are other people in the real world. This is why Democrats are assholes. They don't believe in other people. It's all me, 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 me. I want free shit. I want free money. The homeless, which I guess is the epitomal example of the Democrats. Like I said, that's the most advanced stage. They're a 50-year-old homeless person who everyone else gave up on because that person refused to acknowledge that other people exist, other people have finite lives. They have to work and support themselves. And homeless people get furious if you don't give them money. They get furious if you don't obey. My experience was watching women getting furious where I'm like, I got to work, or no, I'm not doing that. Where there's no consideration. Just the video before this, when we talked about how women, they're going to stop dyeing their hair because of recessionary times, or they cut their hair to be short. Because even if you're married, a lot of people are truly ultimately solipsistic. They don't ever ask, well, what does my husband want? The husband is there to serve me. They are there to provide. They're there. How dare the slave run away from the plantation? Men are kind of the same way too. We're like, well, how come that woman doesn't like have sex with me? That's her job. She's supposed to, it helps to stop looking at people as objects. And Homath did a great point where he said, it was in the context of women being the table, I am the table, and you should just give me shit because I exist. That's a very childish, and not in a wrong way, but it's childish because only children technically do that. And he says, people who go down this road, women can get away with it for a while because men will indulge them because men want to have sex with them. But over time, people who have this solipsistic video game attitude and mentality inevitably are ostracized. People avoid them. They don't invest in them because these people don't have the time. It's a parasitic relationship. I got to give. You don't think I exist. I can't form a relationship with you if you don't think I'm a fellow human being. I'm just a machine that is to do what you want me to do. After a while, you will start to fail in life. You will start to fail. I'll give you a perfect example. When I was on Access Vegas or Fresh and Fit, they multicasted it. I'm surrounded by these gorgeous women who are mostly in their 30s. And they are completely unaware other people exist. They are truly self-involved, self-centered. Where I remember Sartain, Roses, turn off your phones. We're trying to run a show here. The girl next to me just kept her phone on, kept looking at it like a fucking 12-year-old. Well, that's because she got out for free because guys wanted to fuck her and would give her money and all that other shit. They're strippers. Most of those girls are strippers or ladies of some kind of sex work. So men will keep balance, simps will keep balance, keeping that delusion up. But if you were to remove these girls' looks tomorrow, they would fail because no one will want to invest in them because there'd be no reason to invest. The only reason being would be sexual, using that as an example. And so Homath's point was, you don't realize you cannot succeed in life until you realize the world is made up with other people who are exactly sentient like you. And until you offer them what they want, you will not be able to make progress. And the classical example where it applies to men and women relatively equally is degree choice. The arrogance and hubris that your parents told you and your teachers corroborated, follow your heart and money will follow. You can do whatever you want in America. No, you can't. That is the most supremely solipsistic main character syndrome thing where I'm going to major in poetry and then I'm going to force the remaining 7.99999 billion people on the planet to buy my shit. You see it in video games and movies nowadays where you have leftist activists who have no talent create leftist propaganda masquerading as a video game. And the video games are shit, by the way, too, because they don't know how to code. And they get furious that how dare you NPCs not buy my magnum opus of I hate the white man and more free shit for everybody kind of crap. Because they are unaware that it is other people who are equally sentient and have equal demands and requirements to maintain and enjoy a happy life. You need to deliver what they want. And so when people major in dumbass shit in college, they're telling the world, you will bend to my will. Whereas differently, if you ask what 7.99999 billion people on the planet want and you deliver it, you, I don't want to say enslave the people to your will. You get them to willingly give you money. Oh, you want a heart surgeon? I will learn to patch up hearts. Oh, you need a really cool video game? I will become a very good video game programmer. Oh, you want, I'm trying to think of something that's boring, but we all need. Oh, you need goods and services delivered by rail or by truck. I'll go work for the railroads or I'll become Alex Patino, truck driver, Latino agent in the field. Right. And then you get society to work for you is a better way of putting it. So that's main character syndrome, solipsism, video game syndrome, whatever you want to call it. And when I listened to Thinking Ape's main character syndrome, there wasn't all that much new added to it. He added some other things, but if it's a good introductory and a very thorough explanation of what main character syndrome is. And I'd say what would he added on top of it, or the main point of his video is how main character syndrome is much more prevalent now today than it was in times past. And the reasons are what I would expect are true. And he kind of lists them here. It boils down to social media, obviously making everyone the center of their own universe. I do I dare say it? I gotta say it. I gotta say it. Not, I don't want to get no internet beef. It's just that academically, there's a channel someone pointed me to called Montana Dan. It's not Hannah Montana, Montana Dana. This is the perfect example of the me at the center of the universe. And I got some inside biz on this person. If you watch the videos, you'd say, boy, that takes a lot of technical engineering and work. And you'd be right. And you'd be right, it does. How do they do that? I wonder if she can do it. That's the line of think I'm going. But the point is, it's a lifestyle blog. And guess what it's about? It's about Montana Dana. And she's a cute, gorgeous blonde. And, oh my God, I'm van life. And I'm in a new journey and all that other shit. But, and that's fine. I have no problem with people. Like, she got lots of subscribers. People tune in. But she's the center of the universe. She would not have had that. I wouldn't have had this if we didn't have social media or YouTube channels and stuff like that. Now, not everyone gets to a channel where you got 50,000 or 100,000 subscribers. We could actually make a living off of it. But even with social media, like the dating apps or Instagram, all the likes, all that, you stop going outside. You stop living in the real world. You go onto a digital one. And because you are a node, no different than all the other nodes, but everything else networks to you, you start to think, I'm the center of the universe. Not knowing everyone equally has nodes or lines and networks going to their nodes. Everyone's equally the center of their universe as far as their eyes can see. Thinking Ape goes on to point out the girls probably have this a little bit more. Well, not probably. They have a lot more attention because of the male sex drive. And so they start to think and overestimate their value. But this does nothing to kind of wake them up to reality that, well, this is digital and that other people are equally sentient. No people, this has only made people more solipsistic, more unaware of other people being alive and having sentience and should be treated as equals, not things. Another thing he points out is good economic times or good economic conditions, where if you got your food, clothing, and shelter taken care of, like people in the West, the Wild West, your John Wayne movies, and oh no, here comes the Indians or here comes the bandits. The women out there were frontiers women. Yeah, they didn't have time to be solipsistic. They had to worry about death and plague and whatever. What killed you on Oregon Trail? Whatever it was. They had to worry about food, their children. You cannot have a solipsistic society or solipsism permeate throughout society unless things are going really well and you got your economic shit together, which we, thanks to previous generations, we do. So if you're hungry, like when I was in college, you will not become solipsistic when you're in college. You will, because you got to work. I'm sorry. If you don't have any support whatsoever, you will not become solipsistic. You probably become aware of other people. You go from high school where you are probably solipsistic because the world is surrounding and involves me and what's in my best interest. And all of a sudden you got to work and support yourself and no one gives a fuck. You're like, oh shit. What do people want now? They want this. Okay, I better provide it. So that's the good economic times we live in today provides for fertile ground for solipsistic minds to grow. He made a very interesting point where he says it expands beyond your own world because the solipsism becomes so engrossing, so total, that even escaping is not possible, right? I play video games. What kind of video games do I play? Games where I don't have to live in the real world, right? I played Lollipop Chainsaw recently. Fun, stupid, simple game. You play a cartoonish on purpose 18-year-old hot blonde girl who's a cheerleader, but secretly she is a zombie killer. Her whole family's zombie killers. And you run around suburban California fighting off a zombie invasion with an awesome chainsaw, and you got your boyfriend in tow. I like it. I don't need to see myself in the character. Okay, I'm not pissed off. I'm playing a ditzy girl who's a teenager, teeny bopper type. That's the point. That's the fun. I don't want to play middle-aged podcaster economist. That is not a game. That's not a video game I want to play. I want to escape. But that's because I have a healthy mind. I am not the center of my universe. I mean, well, everyone kind of is in a way, but my focus is not myself. I've said many times before, the last thing I want to talk about is myself because I know everything there is to know about me. I want to do something else. Can that be said of younger generations where all they've just had smoke blown up their chute and they're the saviors of the world? They're Jessica and Jason Christ. They got nothing but social media. That's what they grew up on. And he made the point that literature and books, especially among women, there's a popular brand. It's basically romance novels, but it's science fiction and romance. It doesn't matter. The romance novels, whether it was 30 Shades of Grey or whatever, Merry Christmas, it comes out on the TV show, whatever, it doesn't matter. Women fantasize of that's them. That's why if you look in all these books, the woman is a truly average woman doing truly average woman things. They're not amazing. They're like marketing junior executives. There was one so it says, hey, here's a romance thing about the girl. She's a podcaster and influencer. Like, oh my God, this is so lame. So they need to see, you don't need, shock ladies, you don't need to be the center of attention, not only in the real world, but in your fantasy as well. But no, they need to be the center of attention everywhere, both real world and not. And so these books sell because they're the center of attention. But you also see that in the past, let's say 5 years of video games, where the movies and the video game creators put themselves into the movies and video games they created. The Acolyte, where Leslie Headland just basically, I mean, you should be ashamed of how truly solipsistic and self-centered you were, where it's all about lesbian shit and crap and nobody cared. No one cared because it was all about Leslie Headland. There was, I Am Not Starfire. I'm Not Starbright, where it's a comic book and it's about a goth, fat, overweight daughter living in the shadows of her hot superhero mother. And the loser goth daughter, the whole comic book is about how she's not her mother. And the problem, she goes that her mother is hot and outshines her and everything else. Surprise! It looks exactly like the woman who wrote the comic book. Surprise! The problem with solipsism, if it gets to an inescapable level, like a black hole, you cannot escape it. Everything you produce is all about you. Why? Because think about it. In a truly solipsistic mind, there are no other human beings. This is why leftists get pissed off for the trans community. And even then, it's not, I doubt these people are actually trans. I think straight people posing as trans because they want to be popular without effort. When they create a video game, a movie, whatever, that's trans or gay or leftist or whatever, and people don't buy it, they get furious because you are not a human being with your own tastes and preferences. Girls, where they get pissed off that you want hot chicks in your video games, they get pissed. They get pissed. I mean, even to the point they banned the latest volleyball, Dead or Alive volleyball game. Look it up. There's a series of them. The latest one didn't make it to America because frankly, our men are ballless pussies who didn't tell women, shut the fuck up. We're going to get our cutesy bikini video game, volleyball game. Oh no, the women are upset. Okay, let's bend over some more. But you see it, how dare, you could even see it in the regular dating market. How you men are shallow for liking women who are thin and hot. They obviously don't think you're human. To a certain level, they do not believe you are a fellow human being who has the rights to whatever, like chocolate ice cream, enjoy pizza, not like tuna, and enjoy girls with big boobs. How dare you not be the thing you're supposed to be the NPC and do what I demand. So when it gets to that level, you can't even go and enjoy other things in fiction, right? You can't escape. When I play Red Dead Redemption, I don't see myself as John Marston, right? I just think John Marston is this other cool character who it's like really neat. Oh man, John Marston, he's a cool guy. When I'm watching Die Hard, okay, when I was a young boy, I was like, man, I would love to be John McClane. Now, as an older man, yes, it's good to have heroes, but I don't think that for any second I'm walking all over glass for a woman I'm estranged from. No, I'll just leave. I'm not doing that shit. Nah, I'm out. I'm gonna get going here. See you guys later. Enjoy the party. But you can watch fiction and know that it's not you. Not insist that it has to be you. Enjoy it for something that's completely outside of your world, and therefore you can escape and you can appreciate other things. And therefore, if you can appreciate fiction, which is other things not about you, you could appreciate other people. And then his final point, I guess, as far as I could assess, was that not everyone can be the center of the universe, in part because, well, nothing's going to get produced, but not everyone's going to pay you. Not everyone's going to pay an homage to you. And coming from a childish, solipsistic video game main character syndrome as a child, and continuing to provide and indulge people in that childish falsehood in college and with Democrats and socialists and leftists, like, oh, you be taken care of, you could do whatever you want. You inevitably run into the real world where, no, we're not going to make you the center of the universe. I'm not going to pay you for merely existing. And you see that probably the most common part is when you guys have your rude awakening, you come out of college, and not a single thing you were promised by your boomers and now Gen X and teachers and parents came true. The real world does not give a shit about your communications degree. It does not give a shit about your your music therapy degree. It doesn't give a shit about you. And then people retreat. They go online, which has always been a haven, begrudgingly and reluctantly working some kind of entry-level job to keep them alive. But if you're a hot woman, this is where you have the rise and the OnlyFans girls and social media and Instagram and all that. And you can sell pictures and all that. The gals I hung out with are actual sex workers, which again, I don't care. That's fine. Or if you're a dude and you don't get with the program and you don't start realizing that you are not the center of the universe, you become homeless because you'd alienate everyone else, every other network out there of people that would work with you, including employers, suppliers, right? You walk in, you start stealing shit at the grocery store, you're kicked out. Because you think that's all. There's no farmers, there's no employees, there's no stock boys, there's no cashiers. Those are all NPCs that are just supposed to give you free shit because you're God. You're the only person that exists. And inevitably, when you get into that real world, you either adapt or you suffer tremendously. Or when it comes to women, frankly, you suck a dick. Digitally, I guess, which is a lot safer. And that, I guess that was the conclusion is if you don't escape it, if you don't get rid of this natural solipsism we all start out with in children, your life is going to be wasted. It's just going to be tortured. Unless you're an attractive woman who are given a I guess, get out of jail free card. They get an option to They come with a commodity that half the population wants. I know that sounds horrible, ladies, but it's what it is, and I don't care about your feelings anymore, so please shut the fuck up about it. I just don't care anymore. It is what it is. If you do not abide by reality and start providing and realizing that there are other human beings along, you are not going to be able to survive in this environment, because you need to acknowledge there are other people, because it's other people through economics and transaction and trade and labor and specialization of labor that keeps your ass alive. That's why you got to work a job. And it's real interesting to watch how the digital world will provide you a fake synthetic world where you still are the center of the attention, and how socialist programs will keep your ass alive, maybe not wealthy, but it'll keep you alive, that you can continue on believing you're great, that you're the only human being in the world. And I would guess another form of socialism, we call it sexual socialism, where half the population, if you're a hot enough girl, will just give you money for being pretty, and you could keep on going and imagine that you know what you're talking about, or somehow you're smart. I mean, that's go watch any of those shows. That's what those shows are, is you have women who have only gotten by on their sexual prowess, their sexuality, and they actually think they're smart. They think their opinions matter. And they say the dumbest fucking shit. And man, I don't know. And what I would implore to you guys, and you certainly watch the video, that ain't a life to live, man. And it's a harder life to live, again, unless you're very attractive. But I would say you have to acknowledge the real world around you. You have to acknowledge other people. And once you realize that if you provide what people want, life gets a lot easier. I would have done a lot better being an accounting major, because people need taxes. They don't need me to tell them how to analyze a loan or an economy. No one cared about that. If you can be a surgeon or a dentist or mechanic, people need that. You literally have to give up everything you were told by your parents and your teachers and professors, which is all a lie, and know how the real world works and make choices on that, decisions based on that. And you have to understand, especially you're a kid, yeah, fine, parents have to take care of you. But once you're an adult, people don't, they're real human beings. You are not entitled to their time. They don't have to give you food. They don't, unless they're a liberal white woman who just can't wait to keep the poor people alive and feed the raccoons. Here, I feel so good now. I feel so good. Why is there crime in my neighborhood? Why are there raccoons in the neighborhood? I only fed the raccoons. Why don't they go away? Living the life of a confused, angry, angsty millennial who's 40 and still doesn't know why they're poor, that's horrible. Being a washed-up, has-been attractive girl who actually believed people liked her for her personality or an intelligence, who's now piss poor and living in a dumpster, that's horrible. Being a homeless person who just refused to admit other people exist and they're not entitled to their free time, labor, and money, so that you end up being homeless and borderline dying if there's a cold snap, it's a horrible life. And thinking somehow you're going to be a music therapy person or whatever other bullshit, you just hasn't been your time. You're like a narrative consultant, all these journals, everyone involved who was like a game, not developer, but game writer, all the writers, all you people who wrote video games and movies, like, you're going to keep trying to make that. No, that's a horrible life, as you're finding out now, because no one's paying for your fucking shit no more. It's a horrible life. Live in truth. People don't owe you shit. Other people are human beings, so you ought to treat them nice. And again, I mean, I'll go back to the previous video. It's a perfect as it, ladies, you know, I focus on men here. Like, yeah, you can't major in journalism. You got to do this thing. Ladies, your husbands, I know this may shock you, are human beings. They have tastes and preferences. The video or the the article I read in the previous video was about women having to cut back on dyeing their hair and hair treatments because of recessionary problems. And it was quite an involved, laborious, and self-indulgent, like, we're doing it because now cheaper is better and we're our natural beauty, da-da-da. And I said, look, why don't you just ask your husband what hair color he wants and go do that? That would be a lot easier. And I'd imagine cheaper, because you're not trying all this shit. And we're at a point now where you say, have you thought about doing something for a man? How dare you? I'm not a slave. There you go. There's someone who's solipsistic. They are even people who are married are unaware that their spouse is a fellow human being that would have wants and desires of them, because they just, well, I need whatever. Women need commitment, money, and provisioning, or whatever it is for men. Men need sex. Did you think that's another human being and maybe deliver what the other? That's called love in my world. I don't know what you call it. You probably call that slavery and servitude and the patriarchy or whatever. But look how happy all those feminist spinsters are. They're real happy. So there you are. Link below, I have a link to Thinking Apes video. I also have a link to Zero World Problems that, in addition to acknowledging solipsism and having to get rid of it, tells you really what to focus on in terms of long-term economic goals and higher standards of living. It is a tangible list of things you should pursue. If you're saying, okay, well, once I get my head on my own ass and I'm not the center of my universe, what are the things I should pursue specifically in terms of economics and financial success? There you go. Zero world problems. You don't want first world problems. You want zero world problems. And then How Not to Become a Millennial, book I wrote a while ago. Link below. And it goes through all the lies and consequently the mistakes the millennials made and why they're in the situation they're in now and how to get out of it. But I know you millennials are still solipsistic and you think you're Jessica and Jason Christ from the suburbs and you're going to save the world. We just need more, think Greta Thunberg, right? Guys, do you want to have the life of Greta Thunberg? Girl's about 30 now. Do you want that life? She's not going to win because it's not reality. No, there's no global warming. Sorry. No, you're not going to save the world. Could you maybe start focusing on things that are fun and realistic? No, the socialisms in the environment. Keep clinging to your $30 burger bar joint, bro. Keep clinging on to jars instead of glasses. I mean, how long y'all going to look like Matt Walsh with the beard and the shit? Okay, your craft brew culture. Keep focusing. I'm sure that'll bring you great joy and student loan bailout. Keep begging for that. Right. Whatever you do, don't wake the fuck up and realize other people have to sacrifice their lives to pay for your stupid fucking mistake of college choice. Okay? Let me know how it goes. Emmanuel Obang, $5. PayPal still giving me an AirPay to pay if I have alternate payment. Thanks again. Try a different browser. And you're right, man. It's not you. It could be PayPal. They always fucking up shit again. Just, I don't know, man. Give me another. Let's call it this. If you can't pay through PayPal, just give it one more shot. If it doesn't, just give me like a $20 super chat, all right? Because you're already contributing. Just give me we'll call it even then. Magnum Opus, $5. Society is full of adult children who are lucky enough to reach the age of maturity while simultaneously being immature. Right, without having to lift a fucking finger. I'm not saying any of that about Montana Dana. Go watch Montana Dana, right? Don't subscribe. Just watch a couple episodes if you can get through them. You're like, oh yeah, okay. I know someone whose mom was gorgeous. She showed me a picture of her mom from the 70s. I'm like, holy shit. Her mom is batshit insane now. I don't think women can overcome drop dead gorgeous. Like, it's a curse. It actually is a curse. If you are a gorgeous woman, you do not, you get a tremendous boost, but it is a curse once you get older because you've never had to lift a finger in your life. And this gal, holy cow. I mean, seriously, drop that gorgeous woman. I'm like, and now, she's a boomer, not functional at all. And that's why you need dad. So like, okay. And by the way, I don't mean Minnesota fathers. Like, nothing's too good for daddy's little princess. You're the problem. I mean, an old school, pissed off, angry veteran dad who lets his daughter know, listen, you got lucky the way you look right now, right? You're not doing any of this freaking bullshit. You're staying off the stripper pole. You're going to go become an accountant. All right. And so that when that woman grows older, she might actually have a family and love and sanity, not just a life of getting bailed out and having a drug addiction because everyone wants to fuck her. Glorfindel, $5. How about we need men with the six-pack and the ability to self-sustain so we can scout out the territory in the apocalypse? Just think about it. Well, you're going to, I don't know if you're going to have a six-pack, but yeah, you're going to need men in shape. Look, there will always be demand for real men. There always will be, especially during economic hard times. There will always be demand for, go ahead, run your socialist little empire, ladies and gentlemen. Go do it. But when the food ain't around, you're going to want the bad boys. You're going to want the real men. You just have to realize there's no market for it right now. Right? Go be a real man in your own life. Work hard, do the things, lift weights, all that. But society don't want, okay, that's fine. See you, bye. Be prepared, cover yourself, focus on the individual. But yeah, when it comes to dealing with nature, and we don't have this big government with taxes and EBT and chicken tendies and the electricity, when we have to face nature again, don't worry. The real men will rise up again because we're the only ones that can tame nature. The question is if those men are going to be like, I remember Daniel Penny, like the internet will be out, the electricity will be out, and then guys will see some maiden besieged, stuck in a tree with a bunch of lions surrounding it. I remember Daniel Penny. Oh, well. It starts whistling the Andy Griffith theme song and just moves off on his own. Alex Patino, a truck driving Latino agent in the field, $5. Did somebody call no contraband calling me? If you type that line in on YouTube, it's 21 seconds. No contraband. All right. I'll look it up later. I got to go to the gym today. Prince Revolver, Magnum Opus, $5. You might have 30 to 50 years of living, depending on your lifestyle. Any minute you spend arguing with people you don't like will cause you. Right. Here's another one. I'll make it even better for you, Magnum. I never argue with people when the real world will inevitably make my points for me. I'm never arguing. I'm not going to argue with some leftist leftist idiot. Like legit, you got these, we're going to have a debate. My debate, no. Is your solution more of other people's money? Cool. All right. Let me know how that works. No, I know. You're parasitic. That's it. Full stop. More of other people's money. You're parasitic. Is that okay? Got it. No, I don't care how you rationalize it. At the end of the day, you just want other people's money. You're a parasite. End of discussion. Yep. It's all horrible. Yep. That's sure. Oh, yep. You're all right. Still other people's money. Need to enslave other people. Just want to make sure. And that's it. Like, look at, I love, I don't love but look at the Young Turks, the gal who got attacked and mugged, and all of a sudden she's a conservative. Like, how many decades did that idiot? She's a millennial idiot, a fucking adult child, major in journal, like your typical sanctimonious, know it better than you. And then she gets, now she's like, oh my God. Da, da, da. I'm like, I'm out. Why would I waste decades arguing with you? What was all your talky talk about then before? Russell Brand, popular person because you were told he's popular. Look, kids, he's edgy. He's got long hair. All of a sudden, he's more libertarian. Oh, my God. Did you know the government's growing too big? No shit. Really? Wow. Oh, man. Now I'll listen to you because you're a popular, cool guy with long hair. All right. That's it. See you guys later, Toodles.